That was an abomination to the sport of basketball.
You gotta be kidding me. She flashed a few assists and you want her bringing the ball up the court?
This is not the only player in the WNBA who has ever gotten visibly upset over something.
Angel Reese just got destroyed after her latest WNBA All-Star stunt completely blew up in her face. While the league braced for a blockbuster weekend, Reese dropped her Reebok I'm in Your City campaign in Caitlin Clark's backyard, right after Clark was ruled out with an injury. Ticket prices collapsed 48%, fan interest nosedived, and the internet dragged Reese for what they saw as a desperate, one-sided rivalry stunt that fell flat without the main star in the arena.
Way, we got what most people believe is the #1 MVP candidate, right?
While every WNBA star was locked in, gearing up to shine under the All-Star lights, ready to light up the arena and give fans a weekend to remember, Angel Reese was busy plotting something else entirely. Not her game, not her on-court performance, but a billboard, a tagline, a Reebok rollout. While others were focused on basketball, Reese was out here in full promo mode, dropping her Walk in Your Trap, Take Over Your Trap campaign like she was headlining Coachella, in Caitlin Clark's city no less. Only problem? Clark wasn't playing. The arena energy deflated, and Reese's big moment? It landed more like a whimper than a takeover.
They are an absolute joke.
The WNBA All-Star Weekend in Indianapolis was supposed to be the turning point, the weekend the league finally broke through. Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese on the biggest stage in front of a sold-out hometown crowd fans had been planning for months.
Caitlin Clark received 1.3 million All-Star votes this year, the top 30 vote getters in 2023.
So the game averaged 1.3 million viewers. It peaked at 1.6 million, and this was up 13% over last year's regular season ESPN average for WNBA game.
And it wasn't just the fans who were all in. Major sponsors were in too. Nike had special editions ready. ESPN was rolling out wall-to-wall coverage. Social media was buzzing with Clark versus Reese debates. Corporate money had already been poured into the weekend, betting on one simple thing, that Caitlin Clark would show up and set the building on fire.
And I'm here to tell you, it is not a good moment in the fan base. Fans are quiet online. A lot of people are starting to look like they're reselling their All-Star tickets.
But days before the lights came on, the news dropped. Clark was out. A groin injury she'd been managing flared back up. And that one headline sent shockwaves through everything. Ticket prices collapsed. We're not talking a slight dip. We're talking a 48% drop, $121 down to $64, almost overnight. This was supposed to be the most expensive All-Star game in WNBA history. Now here's where it gets messy. While fans were disappointed, while local businesses were bracing for losses, Angel Reese saw something else. A marketing opportunity.
This is some absurd bullshit, all right?
Right as the Clark news hit, Reese rolled out her new signature shoe campaign with Reebok. And not just anywhere, but in Indianapolis. Her billboards? Walk in Your Trap, Take Over Your Trap, in Caitlin Clark's city, while Clark couldn't even suit up. And look, we get the bravado, but it didn't land the way Reese thought it would, because without Clark on the court, the whole thing felt empty. You're not taking over a trap when the real owner isn't even home. That's not competition, that's just talking to yourself.
You were going to have a hard time stopping that, all right, and winning that game. By the way,
and the fans noticed. Her pop-up? Maybe 15 people showed up. That's what happens when the actual draw isn't there. It wasn't a rivalry. It was a solo act in front of an uninterested crowd, and the contrast was brutal. This was supposed to be the moment for women's basketball, a rivalry that could have fueled years of storylines. But without Clark, Reese's campaign came off more like a hijack than a headline.
People are like, oh, he's trying to white knight, obviously, for Angel Reese, because that's supposed to be his friend.
What made it worse? The league knew the value Clark brought. So did the sponsors. So did the fans. That ticket drop proved it. From $121 to $64 in hours. That doesn't happen unless one player is moving the entire needle. And instead of adjusting or pulling back, Reese doubled down. Like nothing changed. Like the rivalry was still alive even when the other half was on the bench.
Millions and millions of people are tuning in to watch her play. They're watching her play because of the basketball.
And let's be real, this isn't Clark versus Reese anymore, because Caitlin Clark has never actually fed into this. She's never fired shots, never taken jabs, she just plays and puts up numbers that speak louder than any billboard. Meanwhile, Reese keeps trying to sell the rivalry, even if she has to do it alone.
Angel Reese, yes, does in fact hate Caitlin Clark.
And that's the part fans can see. They can feel when something's authentic, and they can tell when someone's just reaching for headlines. Let's just call it what it is. This rivalry between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, it's fake, manufactured, one-sided, and honestly, at this point, it's kind of awkward to watch.
Angel Reese is asked about anything. She's been asked about it in comparison to Caitlin Clark. I guess there's been resentment that's built up there. And
because here's the thing. Caitlin Clark never entered the chat. She didn't throw shade, she didn't fire back. She hasn't so much as side-eyed Angel Reese publicly. Meanwhile, Angel's out here like it's WWE promo season. Name-dropping Clark in interviews, podcasts, promos. Basically every time a mic is near her mouth. 3 episodes into her podcast, and guess who's already the unofficial co-host? Caitlin Clark. Not because she's on it, but because her name keeps getting dragged in. It's not even beef anymore, it's just noise.
Really, players don't like playing with her because look at how she acts on the court when she's not getting a shot. She's so selfish.
And social media caught on quick. They weren't buying it. People called it for what it really was. Clout chasing disguised as competitive fire. Like, you can only ride someone's name so far before fans go, wait, why are you still talking about her? This isn't Clark versus Reese. This is Reese versus the shadow of Clark, and the shadow's winning. Because here's the part that really burns. Caitlin doesn't even have to clap back, she just plays. And when she's out, the silence is deafening. And so is the drop in interest. Let's talk numbers, because the numbers don't lie even when social media does.
Star ticket prices have been cut by quite a lot. They have been cut by quite a lot, and I think it is a bit of a problem. But obviously, you can see here, people were clearly selling these tickets before Caitlin Clark got injured for $300. And the get-in price falling to just $64.
The second Caitlin Clark announced she wasn't playing in the All-Star game, boom. Ticket prices nosedived 48%, and it's not a one-time thing. When she missed road games earlier this year, same story. Resale ticket prices dropped 47% in Washington and a wild 71% in Chicago. That's not a coincidence, that's market proof. That's Clark Economics 101.
This was an abomination to basketball.
Meanwhile, Angel Reese is in the building. She's doing the press rounds, the walk-ins, the rollout for her new Reebok shoe. She's got the billboard, she's got the Instagram captions, but she didn't have the crowd. Because without Clark, she couldn't fill the void. And fans didn't care the same.
The kind of boycott this year, All-Star game, that is because of the refereeing in regards to Caitlin Clark being targeted and pretty much not having a special whistle.
The brands knew it too. Nike, ESPN, the league itself, they had centered their entire All-Star campaign around one name. Not Reese, not Boston, not Wilson, Caitlin Clark. She was the reason this weekend had so much buzz. Her face was the reason sponsors were dumping real money into the WNBA. You take her out of the equation, the hype didn't just dip, it deflated.
Caitlin Clark getting hurt. Caitlin Clark lose her fan base and lose all the hype. Guess what? The league will sink. And I'm telling you right now, just like these damn ticket prices just did, sinking like the damn Titanic.
Clark's injury news broke and the whole vibe shifted. Restaurants started getting cancellations. Bars that planned viewing parties saw empty stools. Downtown Indy felt like it was waiting for a parade that never showed up. That energy everyone had been prepping for, gone, like it never existed. And look, Reebok's campaign might have landed somewhere else. Maybe in Chicago, maybe in Baton Rouge. But in Caitlin Clark's city, while she's injured and can't even defend the court, it felt off. It felt like she was trying to plant a flag in someone else's backyard when they weren't even home. That's not a flex, that's just bad timing.
Obviously, you can see here people were clearly selling these tickets before Caitlin Clark got injured for 300.
Even the arena vendors got hit. Fewer fans meant fewer drinks, fewer jerseys sold, fewer dollars spent across the board. One absence, just one player missing, flipped the entire weekend upside down. That's not just star power, that's economic gravity. And that's the part people keep overlooking.
They want to grow, but they want to grow a certain way.
Because I believe there's a system set in place by Kathy to allow Caitlin Clark to get attacked. Now,
this wasn't just about who's better on the court. This was about who actually moves the league, who puts butts in seats, who makes people fly to Indiana and pay over $100 just to say, I was there. And when she couldn't show up, well, the market had something to say. Cool, then neither are we.
It's an unwatchable All-Star game. It is really bad. There's not a drap or drip of defense in this game.
They come out in the All-Star game wearing "Pay us what you owe us" t-shirts.
Let's start with the protest shirts. You've got WNBA All-Stars walking into warm-ups wearing bold black tees that say, "Pay us what you owe us," right as ticket prices were collapsing like a house of cards. Look, no one's denying the message. These women deserve better pay, more support, charter flights, absolutely. But when you show up demanding more money while fans are literally selling their tickets for half the price because the only superstar they came to see is sidelined, it's hard not to call that out as, well, just a little bit tone deaf.
What exactly are you owed? You know what I mean? What exactly are the WNBA players owed?
Think about it. The All-Star game was supposed to be a sellout, a massive weekend for the league. Then Caitlin Clark's injury is announced, and within hours, ticket prices drop from $121 to $64. That's a 48% crash, confirmed by TickPick and all over the resale markets. And as that happens, players are out here demanding more pay in front of half-empty stands. It didn't feel like a movement. It felt like bad timing. The vibe was off, and fans knew it. Social media exploded with confusion. People weren't debating whether players should be paid more. They were wondering if this was really the moment to push that message. The league just took a massive hit in value, and now you're reminding fans of how much more expensive it could get, and somehow Clark is the one who's supposed to fix it?
Stop that nonsense. Y'all got to stop that nonsense. Seriously.
The double standard is loud. If Clark claps back, she's petty. If she stays quiet, she's not doing enough. But if Reese constantly name drops her for attention, that's competitive edge. This is starting to feel less like journalism and more like projection, and fans are catching on. They see who's instigating, they see who's talking and who's hooping. But instead of adjusting, Reese just kept pushing forward with the same "I'm in your city" message like none of this was happening. Her campaign didn't just stay live after Clark's injury, it got louder. The billboard is still up, Instagram captions still firing, "Walk in your trap, take over your trap" was still the theme, even though the trap was empty. Clark wasn't there, the fans weren't there, and honestly, it started to feel like a one-person parade. And the internet? Oh, the internet had jokes. Comment sections were brutal, opportunistic, tone deaf, clout chasing. And of course, the nickname that refused to die, Baby Giraffe. Memes everywhere. One analyst nailed it. Reese is shadowboxing in an empty gym. Harsh? Maybe, but also accurate, because without Clark, the whole campaign lost its punch. You can't take over someone's city when they're not even in the building.
My God. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Now that the dust has settled, here's the real takeaway. Caitlin Clark isn't just another talented rookie. She's the league's foundation. She's the reason ticket prices surge. She's the reason sponsors are finally paying attention. She's the reason people, casual fans, new fans, national media, are even talking about the WNBA in the first place. When she plays, arenas sell out. When she doesn't, prices collapse, energy fades, and suddenly no one's showing up to the party. That's not hype. That's data.
That can't really have come out of a basketball fan's mouth, right?
And sure, Angel Reese is making money. She's got the endorsements. She's built a brand. But she's not moving the needle the same way. This isn't about talent, it's about impact. And right now, only one of them is shifting the economics of women's basketball. So yeah, this entire stunt, what was supposed to be Reese's big moment, ended up looking more like a flop. Not because the idea was bad, but because the execution was tone deaf. You can't launch a takeover campaign while the person you're taking over from is injured and silent. That's not rivalry, that's trying to go viral, and guess what? It worked. Just not the way she hoped. If you've come this far, be sure to subscribe to the channel and don't miss a single detail.